This is a video that I'm super excited and is going to benefit all of my fellow designers out there. CLEAN Pro finally has a Figma file. I have been wanting to release a Figma file for quite some time, and many designers have reached out to me asking if I have one in support of Clean, and the answer up until now has been no. But that answer is now yes, a resounding yes. So I would love to introduce and show you a little bit about CLEAN Pro Figma file version 1.0. This is going to be a work in progress, so like everything, your feedback is definitely appreciated if you find anything that can improve this over time. Before I jump in, quick nod to Tyler at Munson Design. He helped me kind of kick this Figma file initiative off. So Tyler, if you're watching, appreciate you, dude. All right, let's jump in. I'm gonna show you a few quick things. If you are already familiar with Figma, awesome. This is just gonna be a quick 1-2 punch. If you're not familiar with Figma, it's awesome. You should check it out, especially if you're a designer. Okay, without further ado, let's jump right in. So right over here on the left-hand side, there's gonna be a couple things that are gonna get called out. First and foremost, with the theme settings, you can very easily come in here and start to dial in a lot of your button design and many of your elements, typography, form elements, and things like that are going to ripple down to many of the custom components, modules, here in the Figma file. So this is a great starting point to just dial in the brand style, which you can of course go edit or make anything custom as you're building out the page. But great place to start and then continue to revisit. Then when you're ready to start building some layouts, let me show you a few cool things that are built in. So if we go under Start Designing here, this is just really a quick starting point that gives you the global header, a hero banner, the magic module, and the global footer. What I've gone ahead and done is make these components as flexible as possible. Now, if you're used to using Clean, you're gonna know that there are so many options within these modules, and it's nearly impossible to build all of those options here in Figma. It's impossible. But I've tried to give you enough optionality so that you can build some pretty compelling layouts and then custom design anything that might not be a function of these components. So here's what I mean. So if we're looking at this hero banner and we click into this, a couple cool things. Right over here, I built in these different properties. So for example, if we wanted to do a 2-column banner, it's an easy switch like that. And many of the different custom modules that are included in this Figma file have some of those basic layout options. Some, like the magic module, are gonna have even more. For example, if we come down to the magic module and click into this, we can say we want 3 columns and we want the arrangement to be, let's try like a 2-8-2. This is gonna help you really dial in some of these components, especially with the magic module, which is really the do everything module. But now let's go ahead and look at how you can go through and start to add different modules that exist in the Clean theme. So let's just go ahead and in this example, let's just make the page a little bit longer. Just drag this footer down to the bottom. Now what you can do is you can come over here under Assets, and this is where you're gonna find a lot of those components. So open up here are the Clean modules. All of the modules aren't quite implemented here in the Figma file. There's a lot of image modules or image grid modules that it just makes more sense to just do in Figma. These modules are just something that's more specific to Clean, so I thought I'd give you some easy layouts that you can just throw into each of your pages. So for example, let's grab the flexi cards. So if we grab that, pull this into the page, this obviously needs to be a little bit larger, so let's just make this grow a little bit and then bring these right down here. Now, of course, with the flexi cards as well, we have the option to come down here and say, okay, we want 3 cards. These will, of course, as you're working with them, respond really nicely so that if you have different column widths or row widths, you can very easily make those changes without having to fuss a lot. And then as you come into each of these, we're using the cool new auto content property. So let's just say, for example, we want to come in here and add a button to these. We can very easily just drop this button into place. Whoops. Can I get it in there? Well, there's auto layout. You're gonna have to figure that out. I could probably finagle this a little bit, but auto layout is in each of these modules or cards, making it really easy for you to drag new elements in and have them line up just perfectly. A few other key things as we jump back to our layouts. You're gonna see all of the CLEAN Pro modules. This is basically a quick visual reference of each of these that you can either come over here, copy, and then pull over into your layouts, or modify in any which way. When we come into our kit of parts, this is where it gets a little advanced. For the most part, I would encourage you to be mindful of stepping in here because this is what makes all those components work with the different columns. So you can certainly add to this if you are super savvy with Figma, but if you're just wanting to wham bam, thank you ma'am, get some layouts out and ready to jam, then I would just focus on the CLEAN Pro modules and creating your own pages that you can drag those modules into. And with that, I'm gonna leave you to it. Again, if you have any feedback, any new requests, how we can make this Figma file even more awesome for the next version release, please do shoot me an email, let me know, drop a comment, any which way, and let's make this even better. With that, I'm out. Thank you again for using CLEAN. Thank you for all of the nudges and pushes and arm twisting to get me to finally release this. I'm excited. All right, later. Figma file, Figma file, Figma file. Say that 10 times real fast. Figma file, Figma file, Figma file, Figma. I can't do it. Figma file, Figma file, Figma file, Figma file. That's a tongue twister.